Actually, it was kind of funny. At one point in time, I was like, so where's the medal? And I was about to kill all of North Korea, basically, every single person there. And I was like, where is the money? Where's the payments? I didn't receive any money or payments, and I'm wondering where it is. And the North Korean leader was like, we paid you. We sent it over there to you. And I was like, where is it? And I was pissed off. And that's about when basically, and I was really pissed off, and I was about ready to just have him executed. And I was like, just a minute, let's go find out. Anyway, I ordered my other people to find out what exactly happened to the metal. What exactly happened to the gold? What happened to all the payments coming from North Korea? And that's when we found some other people. So anyway, I was about this close to killing North Korea and all the people on there, when I was like, well, let's find out where it went, shall we? Anyway, turns out it went somewhere else and into someone else's pocket. And we found those people, and they were dealt with. Anyway, meanwhile, over in Yankee Town, glug, 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 on moonshine, he'll never find out. Yeah. Anyway, I was very upset at the Chinese and the Japanese, and that's why I said I actually doubted the Chinese and the Japanese, and I was actually going to kill them myself. I was actually very powerful, like I said, and I came this close, but I was like, wait a minute, let's find out, because it wasn't the first time that that I had a problem with people being delinquent, ridiculously delinquent on their payments, and I was actually going to kill them and torture them to death, but I decided no. Let's find out. So we found out, and that led to somebody else and something else, and that's also basically what really upset and scared off Rodney and a bunch of other people, because it was like, other me was going to find out. There was no stopping other me. Now, Brian me, it's like, whatever, but, you know, other me and what I was before was like, you know, you don't, whatever. Anyway, so I was very upset, and we found out, of course, and those people were brought in and dealt with. I dealt with probably 500 or 1,000 people, or them gunned down or killed or something. And that's why Rodney and Rick Bush and a bunch of people are like, don't you know what? It's like, actually, your people were murdering and raping and killing and doing whatever and lying about it. You were just lying between one country and another country. And that was a problem. So anyway, I had to deal with it, and I dealt with it. And realistically, even as Brian, even though, see, technically, like I say, I'm the richest person here. And very wealthy in 800 galaxies. So I had a little bit of an issue problem, because Korea said that they had invented stuff and had given stuff and blah, 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 and I didn't see it. I was like, where is it? Anyway, turns out, and North Korea was just being honest. North Korea was honest, and turns out that they were, in fact, not to blame. And I, in fact, protected them and kept them protected and everything else like that. And it was not their fault, and I'm very, very, very sorry for ever doubting the Koreans. Like I said, I doubted the Chinese and the Koreans one time. One time. Only one time. After that, I never doubted them again. Anyway, and then, you know, and as, like I said, it turned out it was some other people that just thought they could lie. So, anyway, yeah. Anyway, and it turned out that, of course, that also that Richard Nixon and some other people and some people with the government or whatever, people within my staff, were actually lying and killing and doing other very, very horrible things. But I'm not that kind of a ruler or a leader, and of course it was exposed and brought out, and that's another thing. That's why Rodney was basically, it's basically like, you won't win, blah, 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 blah. It's like, there was no stopping me, and, you know, anyway, yeah. So, I mean, you know, I mean, all they were doing was basically just having people sign things over and then shooting them in the head and saying that they had paid money for these things, even though they hadn't. And it's like, well, see, the thing is that there is a ownership chain and everything else going all the way back from thousands of years ago through all kinds of different planets, 800 galaxies. I have probably about 400 planets that I own. Earth happened to be one of them. They didn't realize that Earth was actually owned by the creator that created 800 galaxies. See, that was another thing. They thought that Earth was just another planet, just like any others. And there are probably 140 or 400 planets throughout the galaxy, throughout the universe that I owned. Actually, technically, I own them all, but I especially owned a couple of them. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, but Earth happened to be one of my planets. So anyway, a couple people thought or didn't think. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, they were dealt with. It's already been done. It happened about 800, like 50 trillion years ago. I had to deal with this problem. And it was a problem, and they were like, blah, blah, blah. And I even told Rodney when I was like 5 years old, or looking 5 years old, that it wouldn't work. It's not going to work. Anyway, whatever. He said whatever. They ran off. They did whatever. They attacked. My people defended. They pulled that bullshit in China where they would shoot the guard that would accompany them out of the... See, you can go out of the hotel in Korea into the thing. It's just that you can't go out unaccompanied. Richard Nixon and a couple other people wanted to go out unaccompanied because they wanted to go rape and kill and torture people. And not let and have it so no one would know about it. Anyway, which is why we always had a guard with them, to protect them and to keep them and to protect the people from outside influences. Basically, like outside influences would basically be gun to outside. See, Nixon and everybody else was like, North Korea is no good. They protect people from outside influences. And it's like they're talking about outside influences like gun to their people's heads. And then boom. Those kind of outside influences is what North Korea protects from. Because it was a problem, because a bunch of people like Biggie, can't you see, blah, 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 blah. Him and his other black friends went over there and were doing outside influences on Koreans. So was Nixon. So was Jimmy Carter. So was every other piece of shit that had a gun. A bunch of like sweaty ass Vietnam vets like, like running around all meth or acid up and on a combination of drugs, like all like crazy, all just like screwing balls to the wall, and all this and that, and like shooting and killing and raping and just basically tearing up a country. And then getting inside of an aircraft and thinking they could just bomb people to cover it up. Or spray some sort of death agent that kills everybody on the island. And then they would try and bring in new people and kill them. Like every couple years. Like I said, the disgrace of the human and United States is so... Like, it goes beyond denying me. It goes beyond the problems that were associated with trying to kill me.